Hello, I'm going to show you how to crochet this trail of heart hanging plant. To make this plant, we are first going to make a little round earth ball, and we will be making it with a 4mm crochet hook and double knit yarn. You can use a smaller hook if you find it better to get your stitches a bit tighter. I'm going to use this 4mm one for today. We start with making a magic circle, and we will make 6 single crochet stitches into this magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can now close your circle. Next round we will be working into the back loops only. So you've got your front loop and your back loop, and you will be only picking up the back loop, and we will make 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch from the round below. And I always like to mark my very first stitch of each round, so it's just easier to keep track where you are with your rounds and when you got to the end of it. And just picking up every back loop, we will make 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch from around below. And when you're making 2 into 1, this is also called an increase stitch. And by the end of this round, you will have 12 stitches, all just into back loops only. Next round, we will also be working into the back loops only, and we will be making a single crochet stitch. Mark that first one again, followed by an increase stitch. So that means you're doing 2 into 1. So make a single crochet stitch first, and then make an increase stitch. And this is your pattern repeat for this round. Again, make sure you're just working into back loops, doing single crochet and then 2 single crochet stitches into the following stitch. At the end of this round, you will have 18 stitches all the way around. Next round will also be made into back loops only. This is the last round into back loops, and we'll make single crochet stitch followed by an increase stitch, so 2 into the same, and then followed by another single crochet stitch. So this is what we will be repeating. We will make a single crochet followed by an increase followed by another single crochet stitch, and we are repeating this all the way around. 1 single crochet, 1 increase stitch, and another single crochet stitch. And again, make sure you're only working into the back loops for this round. Next round we will be working into the full stitch, so you pick up all of the stitches, the front loop and the back loop, just go through the whole stitch. And that's going to be now from this point onwards, we're just working into full stitches. We will make 3 single crochet stitches followed by an increase stitch, which means making 2 single crochets into 1. And that's going to be our repeat for this round. Make 3 single crochet stitches and then an increase stitch. Let's do this again. 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches and an increase stitch. Keep repeating this until you get back to your stitch marker. Next round we are going to make 2 single crochet stitches first. So make it 2 single crochet stitches, then we're going to make an increase, and then we'll make another 2 single crochet stitches. So we are making an increase after every 4 stitches, but we are doing it in the middle of those 4 stitches. So make 2 single crochets, then make your increase and make another 2 single crochet stitches. Making it this way means that your increases are not going to be all on the top of each other, and you get more of a rounder circle than what you would if you were just doing your increase stitches every 4 stitches around. We'll finish this one with the 2 single crochet stitches after the increase. The following round will be 5 single crochet stitches followed by an increase stitch. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going to do an increase stitch and repeat this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase stitch. Repeat this all the way around back to your stitch marker. Next 3 rounds we are not going to increase anymore. We are just going to make single crochet stitches all the way around. So you can pause your video here and then come back when you have done your 3 rounds of single crochet stitches only. When you get to the end of these 3 rounds, you have to make sure that your work is facing the correct way. See, your front loops are facing you and the reverse side is facing away from you, because we'll need those front loops later to make our hanging plant into them. And we're now starting to decrease our circle, making it smaller. So first round of a decrease will be 5 single crochet stitches followed by a decrease, and you are going to pick up the next 2 stitches and then yarn over and pull through all of the 3 loops. Let me show you this again. It's just essentially making 2 stitches into 1. So go through the next stitch, pull up a loop, and the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that's your decrease stitch. Repeat this all the way around, making 5 single crochet stitches, then followed by a decrease. You can also do an invisible decrease, which I can show you. That means you just picking up the front loops of the next 2 stitches and then pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So let's have a look at this one again. Make your 5 single crochet stitches first, then go through the first front loop and the second front loop, and then pull through, and then pull through 2. If you're making invisible decrease, you will have less gaps in your work at the end of it, but because this plant is going into a plant holder, it doesn't really matter if you are making invisible decrease here or just a normal decrease stitch. If you were working on amigurumi and you will be seeing all the decrease stitches. It's probably a good idea to do invisible decrease if you can, but we're just going to do normal decrease stitches for this pattern. Next round we will be making 2 single crochet stitches first, and then we're going to do our decrease, so making 2 into 1, and then followed by another 2 single crochet stitches. So again, we're not making decreases in the exactly same spot as the round below. Make 2 single crochet stitches first, then make a decrease stitch, and then make another 2 single crochet stitches. And this is what you will be doing all the way around. So 2 single crochet stitches, followed by a decrease stitch, followed by another 2 single crochet stitches. Finish this round off, and next round, you may have guessed, we are going to do 3 single crochet stitches first, and then we're going to do decrease stitch. So it's the same way as when we were making our circle bigger, we are now decreasing it. So make your single crochet 3, followed by a decrease 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches, and then make 2 stitches into 1 stitch by decreasing it, and repeat this all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. Now at this point it's a good idea to add a little bit of stuffing, not too much to start with, because it's always easier to work when you haven't got stuffing in your work, but you don't want to leave it too late to start adding it either. So just add a little bit now and make our next couple of rounds, and then we'll stuff it up properly right at the end. Next round we will make 1 single crochet stitch first, followed by a decrease stitch, followed by another single crochet stitch, and just keep repeating this all the way around. Single crochet first, then decrease stitch, followed by another single crochet stitch. Keep going until you get back to your stitch marker. Next round we're going to make just 1 single crochet stitch, followed by a decrease stitch. Just make 1 single crochet in between every decrease all the way around. When you get to the end of this round, we have got 1 more round to do, and now we need to add a little bit more stuff in, because it gets harder and harder to add it right at the end. So I'm just going to stuff this little earth ball quite well, and then go back to where I left my working loop. And final round we will just make 6 decrease stitches, so every stitch will be a decrease. So go into the next 2, pick them both up and finish off, and we'll do that 6 times all the way around. No more single crochet stitches in between. When you get to the end of this round, just fasten off, leave a little bit of a tail because we'll hide that inside our work in a minute. And you can get rid of your stitch marker. You can still add a little bit of stuff in here if you really want to, because we still have a little tiny bit of a hole left. But now we're going to close up this hole. So get your yarn needle and get that tail through the end of your yarn needle. The best way to finish off your work is to pick up every front loop of your very last round. Just very carefully go through with your needle and pick up every front loop only. And once you have all of them, all you need to do then is just tug gently and pull your work, and you'll see the hole will disappear. And then just hide the end inside your earth ball. We are now moving on to make the plant. So get your green yarn, and I'm going to change to 3.5mm crochet hook, so you will get a little bit of a better definition for your stitches. Start with a slip knot and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now going to slip stitch into the very first chain we made, and this creates a little circle, and all your next stitches will be worked right in the center of the circle you just created with this chain. It's a little bit hard to see, but it is definitely there. We start with making chain 1 and then making a treble crochet stitch into that circle. So yarn over twice, go through, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we need to do 2 more treble stitches into that same space. This is the second one. And 1 more, yarn over twice again, go into the space, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we are going to make 3 double crochet stitches, and that's yarn over once, go into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through, and we'll make 3 double crochet stitches. We then make a chain and another treble crochet, and all of the stitches are going into the same space. Make a treble, then chain 3 and slip stitch into the very first chain you just made, and this is also called a picot stitch. Now chain 1 again, and we will make 3 double crochet stitches going up on the other side of the work now. 1, 2, 3, and then make 3 treble crochet stitches. 1 treble, second one, and third one. And we are finishing with chain 1 and slip stitch back into the center. And this has created your first heart shape for your plant. We are now going to chain in between the hearts, but to get rid of that little end tail so that you don't have to sew it in afterwards, the very beginning part of the chain I'm going to use both of these tails, so you can just snip it off afterwards instead of having to sew all the little ends in. So once it gets too small to crochet with, just leave it and keep making your chain. The chain will be between 15 to 25 stitches. You don't really need to count, it's not really that important, it just separates the heart leaves. But if you want to have a count, then do between 15 and 25, that makes a nice space. I'm just going to snip off that little bit of an end tail now. That's all secured inside the chain, and we're going to make the next shape. of the leaf. So skip 3 stitches from your hook and slip stitch into the 4th one, and you have made your little circle again to work into. Chain 1. Now we are making 3 treble crochet stitches into this circle, and your trail what you already made will be behind your work, so you don't accidentally crochet over that one. Just leave it hanging behind. This is the 2nd treble stitch. Need to do one more after this. Let's make one more. Now we're doing 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, another treble. Now we're going to do a picot stitch, which is chain 3 and slip stitch into the very first chain you made. Chain 1 again, and we're repeating everything on the opposite side of the leaf. So 3 double crochet stitches first, followed by 3 treble crochet stitches, and then chain 1 and slip stitch into the center, and that is your 2nd shape made. And this is going to create this little traily plant you will then attach to your earth ball. So I'm just going to make one more leaf, and then I am going to show you how you attach it to the earth ball. So let's do the chain in between the 2 leaves. Like I said, it doesn't really matter if you don't want to count, just sort of see how long you want it to be. To make it a little easier for you to see where your stitches need to be going after you do your slip stitch, you can use your stitch marker to help. So just put your stitch marker over your chain you created, make sure it doesn't go into any of the stitches, just slides across. Now skip 3 stitches and slip stitch, and because you have your stitch marker where you now need to work, you can just pull it a little bit and you'll see this space a lot better where your stitches will be worked into. Just leave the stitch marker there for now, it's not going to be in the way, and just start making your next leaf. So we did chain 1, and now we're doing 3 treble crochet stitches, which are then followed by 3 double crochet stitches, and chain 1, treble crochet again, followed by a picot stitch, so chain in 3 and slip stitch into the first chain, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches. Just make sure that your trail what you already made is behind your work, so it won't be accidentally worked over. We've done the 3 doubles, and now we're going to do the 3 treble crochet stitches. Then chain 1 and slip stitch to finish. You can now take out a very helpful stitch marker and use it next time if you wish. I'm going to make a short chain of 10 to 15 stitches before we attach this first trail to the earth ball. Now to do that, we are going to have to find the very first front loop, what was left over when we were working into back loops. Go through that front loop and attach your strand with a slip stitch and cut it off. Fasten off first and then cut it off. And this is how we're going to make our plant, one strand at a time. Let's start the next strands. We are again starting with a slip knot and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's get that very useful stitch marker again and put it across our chain so you can see how it helps you to see that circle you're going to work into. Just slide it across the chain, and after that you can slip stitch into your first chain, and again your stitch marker will show you where your stitches need to be placed. So chain 1, 3 treble crochet stitches all into that gap where your stitch marker is now, followed by 3 double crochet stitches, chain 1, another treble, chain 3 and slip stitch into the first chain, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches, 3 treble crochet stitches, chain 1 and slip stitch. And again we're going to use both of the tails. Let's just take this marker out for now and start making your chain in between the leaves. Use up your little end tail as well. Just saves lots of sewing in ends at the end of your work, because you will be making roughly about 36 of these trails to attach to your plant. Let's just snip this one off and we will carry on chaining until we're happy with how long the gaps are between your leaves. You can add as many leaves as you want onto each plant trail, and you can make the spaces in between them as big or as small as you want. And again the same way, slip stitch into the 4th chain to create the hole to work into, then chain 1, 3 treble crochet stitches followed by 3 double crochet stitches, followed by chain 1, treble, chain 3, slip stitch into first chain, chain 1, 3 double crochet stitches, 3 treble crochet stitches, chain 1 and slip stitch to finish off. And I'm going to make just one more leaf and then attach this strand also to my plant, and then I will let you carry on and put something good on TV and keep making this plant and just enjoy watching it grow. And once you're finished, we are going to together finish off the plant and make the plant holder to pop the plant in. This is my second trail done. I'm going to find the next front loop and again attach the plant trail with a slip stitch. Now fasten off and cut the yarn. And you can pause your video here and keep making your trails until you're happy with the amount you have on your plant. Now your plant looks really nice and full, lots of green trails hanging off it. The only thing left to do now is, you see these little ends that are left every time you fastened off your work. Get your yarn needle and attach it to one of those little ends, and all we do now is just push it inside the plant to come out from the other end to hide and secure, and you can just snip them off and they will be hidden inside your plant. You will have to do this to every little strand. It will take a little bit of time, but it's not that difficult. You just keep pushing them through the plant and snipping the ends off. And sometimes you may even be able to do two at a time if they're very close to each other. Once you've finished and your plant looks all neat and tidy, you can now make your plant holder. I have a separate video to make this beautiful hanging basket plant holder, so go and watch that one now if you wish. And then all you have left to do is pop your beautiful plant inside the holder, feed their trails through the sides of the holder, and your plant is ready to be hung.